This is Bob Ferguson, and I'm here with my friend Ty Ward, who is running for school board in Fairfield. And I thought it'd be good to have a conversation. I think Ty is eminently qualified for the job. And so, Ty, tell me a little bit about your background. Tell us why you feel you're qualified for this.
Well, thank you, Bob. So I'm Ty Ward. I grew up here in Fairfield, K through 12, went to Fairfield Community Schools. I married my high school sweetheart, Alyssa Doyle. She also went to school here, K through 12. After that, I went to Iowa State University and became a computer engineer. And I've been working as a computer engineer for almost 20 years now. 10 years ago, we decided to move back to Fairfield after having our first child. The hour-and-a-half commute each way in Chicago was a little bit too much once I was a dad, leaving before she was awake and coming home after she was already bathed and getting ready for bed. And that's not a long-term plan for parenting. So we moved back here. So now my commute is from upstairs to downstairs because I work in my or I work out of the co-lab.
Yeah.
We've loved our time here in Fairfield, and we're very community-centric, community-oriented. We do a lot of volunteer work, and the natural progression of that has led me to want to help out in the school district.
That's really terrific. So why specifically are you running for school board right now?
So right now, for volunteer work around town, I helped out with the Fairfield Co-lab. Fairfield Co-lab is it's a nonprofit co-working space for people so that entrepreneurs have a place to go for small business amenities. And one of our main goals there was to help out children in the area or students in the area. So we had free student memberships. So students could come in and they could have free memberships when they don't have consistent home internet. We also did programs with the schools, and I was always floored by how great the students were that came in. We would do this little entrepreneur exercise where they would pick 2 random words, and then they would have 30 minutes to come up with a business plan, profitability, logos, and they would give a 5-minute presentation to our sharks that we had there. And every time blew me away. These kids were so good. They're much better at public speaking than I ever was, or even at this age. And then for 5 years, I've been working on the Education Foundation Board. Education Foundation Board gives away scholarships to students here in the area. So it gives every year $50,000-ish worth of grants to teachers for things that the school district can't afford or maybe is outside of their jurisdiction. And so Education Foundation worked with Dr. Knoll, worked with school board members, with teachers in order to figure out all these things. And so by working with all of them, especially over the last year and a half with COVID, with all the challenges that they've had, I saw all the extra hours of work that was going in, making our schools safe and making sure that our kids could actually go in person to go to school, all the extra cleaning and all the extra protocols they had to follow. And I just wanted to help out. I got a little annoyed the last couple times that school board has run and we didn't have enough candidates to fill all the open positions. And so it went to write-ins. And so I decided to put up or shut up. And so here I am, I'm putting up.
Well, that's great. And we're glad for it. It's a very great thing to do. Win, lose, or draw, people willing to come up and serve in this way, serve the community is a really big deal. So why do you think public education is important? I have a proclivity toward it because my father was the head of the math department at a school outside of Boston. So I grew up in a school teacher's family. But why do you think public education is so important?
Absolutely. Going back to the COVID for the last year and a half, we noticed when the school started closing, we noticed that parents were saying, well, we don't have childcare during the day, so I can't have my kid at home. People were saying, in New York City, famously, they said, we can't not have school because 100,000 kids every day get their only meal from the school districts. There's just a litany of different things that all went along with these schools closing. And to me, I feel like if our schools are that important, then we need to support them more. I mean, if our schools be shutting down because of a pandemic causes all of these society things to happen, I really think our schools are obviously the linchpin that's holding a lot of this together. So I think the public schools are eminently important. And that's before we even get to making our students smarter and healthier and getting the next generation of leaders to come out here in Fairfield so that in our community, we have the next people that are going to be employees at all of our companies or start the new companies. We're famous famous for our entrepreneurship. So we want to get these creative kids. They're really excited to get into the workforce and to start their own thing.
So Ty, to kind of drill down, what are some things you'd like to see accomplished by this next school board in the coming year?
Right now, the school has been moving more towards tech, which obviously as an engineer, computer engineer, I'm all for moving towards tech. We went from having just computer labs in the schools towards now every student has their own computer. That is a transition that was not easy, took a lot of work. So I would love to see continued push towards technology and the jobs for the future. Make sure that all of our decisions are best for the students now and for the students in 20 years. There's like most companies, there's been staffing shortages and morale has been low among teachers. In the coming years, I believe that we're going to have to, just like every other company is going through this right now, where it's hard to find workers. So I believe that our school system is not any different. They are going to be looking for teachers. So we're going to have to be competitive with all the places around us and make sure that we're keeping our teachers happy and healthy and safe. A big one for me too was the bond issue that just went through for the new middle school. I was in favor of us getting a new middle school, and as a father of a couple daughters that are soon to play volleyball and basketball in the high school gym, I was definitely in favor of them getting AC in the gym. that gym gets really hot during the fall and the spring. So that's part of the bond issue. That failed this time. I believe it'll probably come up again. I would love to be a part of the committee that reworks that, either reworking the plan itself or reworking how it's marketed and trying to get something out there so that we fix our crumbling school and either replace it, fix it, do whatever we need to do in order for our kids and our faculty and our teachers to be healthy and be able to teach our kids.
So to wrap up, what traits do you feel a school board member should have? What would make an ideal school board member? And why do you think that you're that person?
Speaking for myself, just being a kind of engineer, technical, I believe problem solving is a huge one. As an engineer, I've often said that it's not really, when I went to school, it wasn't really that I memorized how to do this hard math or this physics or anything. It's the fact that random problems are peppered at you all the time. And then you could handle that adversity. You could take these problems and you could try to find an amicable solution to it. I believe that's exactly what the school board needs. We don't need people that are coming in with preconceived notions on how things should be. We should have people coming in and looking at all sides, weighing all the evidence, not ignoring things that they don't like and only paying attention to things they do like, actually trying to come up with compromises that take everybody's best interest at heart. Between students, faculty, the community, everything should be viewed through that prism to make sure that our schools are getting the best results for everybody. And yeah, I think that takes a lot of compromise. I don't think it takes a lot of political speeches and partisan politics or whatever. It really just takes hard work. I've told a lot of people that this campaigning part of it is definitely my least favorite. I really want to do the work. I just want to get there and help out. If I have to campaign a little bit to do it, I will, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Well, I'll tell you, Todd, thank you very much for being willing to step forward. I think you'll make an excellent school board member. I think having an analytical mind who isn't so politically motivated that they can't see all aspects of the thing, I think that's really, really important, isn't it?
I think so too. Yeah. The nonpartisan aspect of the school board just needs to be maintained altogether. Another thing that happened that just shows some flexibility is last year when COVID started, we actually did start our two daughters. They would have been in 3rd and 5th grade last year. And so we started them off full-time at home because we were nervous about just the exploding COVID numbers that were going on everywhere. And I have the luxury, I work from home, or I can work from home. I work from the co-lab sometimes, from home sometimes. I have the luxury of being home with my kids. I know a lot of people didn't have that. And cynically, I thought that just the way numbers were going, that the schools would be closed by Halloween anyway. And I'll tell you, the schools surprised me. They absolutely surprised me. And we pulled it together. And by the 2nd semester, we sent our kids back and they were full-time in school, just because I did have the confidence after watching what all went down that 1st semester that we were cleaning everything. We were wearing the masks, we were social distancing. and our kids were actually having a healthy environment to learn in there. That's just an example of me, changing my minds. I waited for the evidence that the school was doing a great job, and they were. And so then I sent my kids back there. So I think that we need people that can analyze data like that and be flexible.
Excellent. So any final thoughts before we close up?
Nothing much. It's been great to talk to you today.
Well, it's a pleasure. And so, folks, when you go to vote, consider Ty. That's an excellent candidate. Okay,
I'd
take care.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys.